It is not, strictly speaking, possible to be alone in a vacuum. There are, however, certain arrangements of matter that may be treated as such, and so the nearest thing to the absence of being that one can achieve in reality is to be nothing, which is what this nothingness does. This is the zero of existence. It is the state of being in which there is no matter, no energy, and no space, just nothing. In other words, it is the complete and utter absence of everything. This universe is not truly empty. It contains a few stray particles, remnants of the Big Bang, and the vast amounts of energy needed to keep them moving around. However, it is true that this universe is almost empty in comparison to the other universes. It is true that the average density of matter is less than 1 particle per 100 cubic kilometers, but that is because the universe is expanding rapidly. It has been expanding since the beginning and will continue to expand forever. But this is not the only universe. Other universes exist that contain much more matter than ours. And there are universes with many different types of matter. Some are hotter, some are colder, some have more mass, some have less, some are larger than ours, some are smaller, some are dense, some are sparse. There are universes with matter and energy everywhere, and others with none anywhere. Some have more than 3 dimensions of space. Some have only 2 or even 1. There are universes in which the gravitational force is stronger, somewhere it is weaker, and somewhere it does not exist at all. All these universes are very far away from each other, because the universe is expanding at an accelerating rate. This means that there is not enough matter to bring any 2 of them together to form one larger universe. This is the cause of the Big Bang, which was the moment in time when all those universes were created, but at a distance from each other that it would take more than forever for any particles to reach them. There are an infinite number of other universes. If one looks at any one universe from far enough away, it looks exactly like any other universe. No matter how much you increase your distance from any particular one of them, the universe would still look the same as before. However, if you increase your distance enough, you would eventually reach the point where there would be nothing in front of you anymore. The universe behind you would still look identical, and you would know that there was nothing else beyond it either. You would have reached a point where there was no universe on your left, no universe on your right, no universe behind you, and no universe ahead. In theory, one could go on traveling forever and never reach an edge. In practice, the universe is expanding rapidly and one would reach the point where the matter and energy was so diluted that even light itself could not escape. Beyond that point, all motion would stop and nothing would happen at all, because the universe would be completely emptied and all energy and matter would be at absolute zero. The temperature of the universe is currently 3 degrees above absolute zero, which means that all particles are moving about with an average speed of 3/4 of a millionth of a meter per second. This is much faster than light. As long as you have something in the way of light to travel through, it will always move slower than light and therefore always stay behind you. So light travels at a fixed speed through space. But if there was nothing in the way, then light itself would disappear. One would be able to move through empty space at whatever speed one liked, and there would be nothing to tell you that you had broken the rules of relativity. If you wanted to go faster than light, you could. If you wanted to go backwards in time, you could. If you wanted to travel to the edge of the universe, you could do that too. You could travel at any speed or any direction, and there would be nothing to stop you. There are some who claim that it is possible to travel to the edge of the universe using this principle and enter an empty space beyond it, but there would be no way to prove this. It may simply be a case of wishful thinking. Some believe that there is a force called the anti-gravity force. It would not have been given its name if it had not been able to pull things in the opposite direction of gravity, and thus act in an opposite way to the normal laws of physics. It would seem to have some properties that are quite similar to gravity, but are the opposite. However, this cannot be proven. The anti-gravity force could be a property of the universe that we simply do not understand. It might not even exist.